If you've ever seen your ex with someone new, whether it's in person, on social media, through friends, or through a photo that you weren't supposed to see at all, you know the feeling. It's excruciating. Your brain starts racing, you compare, you analyze, you spiral. And for a moment there, it feels like your entire world just collapses. And if that happened to you recently, I empathize. And I understand how challenging this is. Because I've worked with countless people over the last 10 years who were in your exact shoes. And I want you to know that it's going to be okay. My name is Coach Adrian. I'm a breakup and reconciliation coach, and welcome back to episode 3 of the mini-series, If There's a New Person. In episode 1, we explored whether a relationship is real or if it's a rebound. In episode 2, we talked about what not to do when you realize that your ex is seeing someone else. And today, I want to talk about how to stay strong when the human thing happens, when you see them with this new person. So let's go back to Jake. Jake thought that he was doing okay. Then one night, a friend, sent him a screenshot. Maya, Ryan at a dinner, smiling, clearly a couple. And Jake's brain instantly spiraled. They're happier. I've been replaced. I lost her forever. Our relationship didn't mean anything. She never cared. She never loved me. Those intrusive thoughts that actually make you feel like you've completely lost everything. But here's what was actually happening. Jake's brain was trying to protect him from the pain of emotional rejection. And it does that, trying to protect you by creating comparison stories that are not based on facts. They're just stories. And it's important for you to understand that deeply. Seeing your ex with someone new activates 3 things at once: attachment pain, identity threats, and future fear. And attachment pain says, I lost my safe person. Identity threat tells you, if they chose someone else, what does it say about me, my worth, and my value? And the future fear, again, says, what if they're never coming back? And that's a lot to process all in one moment. And if you feel overwhelmed, it is perfectly normal. Again, I've worked with countless individuals who felt overwhelmed just like you. And it does not mean that you're weak. It just simply means that you're human and your nervous system is in a state of shock. Now, this is where Jake almost lost a lot of progress that he had made. What did he do? He opened her profile. He looked into the comments. He scanned for details. He looked at the picture. He analyzed body language, the facial expressions, the captions, the timing, when what is it posted, who liked it, etc. And unfortunately, what feels like could be harmless, just checking, no one knows, actually can lead to self-destruction. Because your brain fills in the gaps with the worst case scenario. You start to project your worst fears and you start to see things that aren't there. For Jake, the change that shifted things was that instead of asking, what do they have that I don't have? What does this new person provide that I don't provide? He started asking, what am I feeling right now that needs support? He brought it back to the things that he can control and to his reality, not what may or may not be happening. And that question shifted things completely for him. And without support, it's difficult to help to make that pivot, because you're going to naturally be drawn further and further and further into the rabbit hole that somehow, some way makes you feel still connected to your ex, even though that is not true. And it's important for you to also reflect on where you are right now and what can help you to also make those shifts to the things that you can control. So when you're thinking about your ex with someone else, what hurts the most? Is it the comparison? Is it the fear of being replaced? Is it the loss of emotional closeness? And if you're able to be precise about where the fear is coming from and why, you're actually giving yourself a chance to regain emotional control. And if you want to comment in the comment section, it will be helpful for you to articulate exactly what is going on and to help others see that they're not crazy and that other people are also going through similar challenges, grief, and questions. Now, Jake learned a method to be able to center himself, to ground himself, to regain control of the emotion, and I want to share that with you. And this is very important because this is a 3-step process that can help you to regain control. Number 1, name the trigger. This hurts because I love deeply, for example. What is triggering you and why? Step 2 is to separate the story from the facts. The fact is they are spending time together. The story is that I've been replaced permanently by this other person. You need to be able to separate fact from story. The more you can focus on facts, the better off you will be. And step 3 is to re-anchor your identity. My value is not decided by one relationship outcome, by what someone else chooses to do and who they choose to be with. That does not define your value. This is very, very important. Naming the trigger, separating fact from the story that you tell yourself about what may or may not be happening, and learning to re-anchor yourself in your true identity instead of focusing on what other people are doing. If you're able to do that, you're going to make rapid progress, and opportunities will open themselves for you to have healthy reconnection with this person, no matter who they choose to be with. You will avoid setbacks. But this is not easy. And most people expect just, some magic to happen where you're going to just heal all of a sudden. But that's not how healing works. You need to do the work. Healing looks like you get triggered, you learn to cope with it a little bit better, you spiral less, you recover sooner. And it happens gradually, not all at once. It's like a muscle that you must practice to use in order for it to get to where you want it to be. That's what emotional resilience looks like. That's what you need to be focusing on, building that muscle at this time. Now, I want to introduce you to Olivia briefly. Olivia once told me the first time that I saw my ex with someone new, I thought I would never get over it. I thought my life was over. But thankfully for her, over time she learned not to compete. She focused on stabilizing her emotions. And months later, when they reconnected, he said, "You have changed." In essence, what he was telling her is that you've been able to process your emotions. You have detached. You are able to be extremely attractive again because you're not in a state of emotional chaos. That didn't happen all at once, months later when they were together. It happened slowly over time through the efforts that Olivia was making in her day-to-day. People often hear this and realize, I got serious work to do. And yeah, it's not easy, but you can do this. This process is about overcoming challenges and going from crisis to victory and growing along the way. And if you feel like you need support, you're not weak. It's perfectly fine. And I invite you to reach out to my team, book a discovery session so that you can discover if coaching is the right fit, if it's timely for you, and what coaching package could be worth you investing in if you're prepared to make that investment so that I can accompany you on this journey. It would be my pleasure to work with you. When you start to process your emotions, once you start to develop that muscle, people still ask themselves, how do I survive this ultimately? Is this a rebound? What do I do long term? And that's precisely what we're going to explore in episode 4. It's not just about short-term reaction that destroys the long-term value that you have. I want to share a vision with you of what it's going to take. And remember, you're not weak just because you're triggered. You are strong because you're committing to a process of learning to finding yourself again and your peace, instead of chasing short-term emotional relief. And that is beautiful, and that is powerful, and that is well worth celebrating. So I'll look forward to seeing you in episode 4 so that we can continue our learning journey together.